Yes! Thank you so much, YouTube subscribers, YouTube watchers. Several months ago, I dropped a video and it said something along the lines of, you didn't screw up, or a Kombi hack, really, if you bought a standard STIHL trimmer. And I said, look, you can run Kombi attachments on your STIHL FS91 or whatever. And since then, the comments have been massive, and there's been all kinds of questions about how, what, where, when, will it work, won't it work? And so today I haul all this crap out, and we're gonna go over and see if it will work or if it won't work. Keep in mind that these are only today's models, and this hack will work on older machines, and it will work on future machines, okay? The key is going to be that is it a straight shaft trimmer, shaft would be a key word there, and B, is it a square shafted trimmer? And we'll look at that in just a minute. So if we go way back, like 30 years ago, it won't fit. But if we go back like 20 years ago, they'll work, okay? So let's start with what won't work, and then we'll start with what will work. Put the screwdriver in my pocket. So first of all, what won't work? A curved shaft steel trimmer. So I purchased an FS38, an FS40, an FS45, and I want to run an edger. I'm sorry, you got the wrong tool for the job. You're going to either A, have to come in and buy a Kombi, or B, come in and buy a straight shaft machine. So curved shaft trimmers out of the mix. Okay, that's gone. The next one, which is kind of on the fringe, would be the cable-driven straight shaft machines. You follow me? Cable-driven straight shaft machines. That'd be the FS55 and the FS56. Do I see people do it? Yes, but I want you to be careful. This guy, from head to toe, see this? Woo! Floppy cable, okay? Nobody wants a floppy cable, especially when we're trying to run different attachments. This is a cable that can break if you get something that's too aggressive. Also, it can sometimes be a challenge to line up male shaft with female receivers. So I'll see people do this, and they'll shove this together and they'll mushroom the tip over because they're not lined up properly. So if you're gonna do it, go ahead, try it. I mean, I see it work, but you have to be very intentional about it. So I would say fringe player, right? The cable-driven straight shaft machines, FS56, FS55. Now, how about the attachments wise? Okay, we'll get into the machines in a minute. There's a few attachments that will not work. 3 of them? I think I got it with 3 of them. We have first the curved shaft edger. This will not work. I've seen people put it on. The way this mounts on here is a super odd angle, and it might kind of function, but you're gonna be standing so far off of that edge, you're not gonna be able to see what direction you're going. So curved shaft edger, out of the way. The blower will not work. Cool little tool, not gonna work this way. And then the other attachment, which I don't even know if they still make it. For a while, STIHL made a curved shaft string trimmer attachment. I don't think they even make it anymore, but that one will not work either. One more, and we'll get into this hack. I talk about a hack of now making it taller, and we'll show you that in a minute. The carbon fiber pole does not work, okay? So if you have a carbon fiber extension, it will not work. You need to use the steel extension. Okay, so I have here some battery units, straight shaft. I have a lot of gas units. I have the FS94, the FS91, FS111R, 111RX. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to grab we'll use the FS94. And now this is another fringe unit. I have seen this unit with a solid steel drive shaft, and I've seen it with a cable. This particular one right here, and in STIHL specs, they say cable, but it doesn't always hold true. Sometimes it's a shaft. This one right here is a cable. So if you pull your FS94 apart and you got a floppy cable, again, it'd kind of be like that 50 or 56 that you want to be careful with how you do that. Okay, so FS94, let's put that on the maybe pile. Here you see my problem. It's not wanting to drop down in because that cable is not centered. So when I try to line it up, it doesn't go right. So I have to be very intentional that I don't mushroom over that tip because I'm jamming it so hard. Okay, that's out of the way. Let's grab our FS91. We know that this is a shaft-driven unit. I'm simply going to remove the gearbox. If it's a newer unit, it's a single screw or bolt to hold the gearbox on. If it's an older model, let's say an FS90, it has 2 screws to hold on the gearbox. So loosen the screws, slide it off, just like this. And let's say you want those nice, tight, crispy edges, right? You've been hacking at it with the line trimmer. but you want to get it down and get it better, you can come in and buy the STIHL Kombi edger attachment, straight shaft edger attachment. This pole, this shaft, get rid of it. I mean, maybe don't get rid of it because someday you may buy a Kombi, put this on the shelf, but this right now is worthless to you. You're gonna take this gearbox. I'm gonna simply slide it on just like this. And I'm gonna make sure I seat it all the way. As I turn this blade by hand, I can actually see the clutch drum turning down through these slots. So I know that I'm down all the way. I do say one of the hacks to this is marking where that attachment lines up or where it ends up at. So the edger has a shorter shank, shorter shoulder on their gearbox than the line trimmer head. So the line trimmer head goes down about 1 inch further onto the shaft. So just pay attention to that. Okay, so put that on, tighten the screw up, and I now have an edger. Well, what about a hedge trimmer? What about a pole saw? Same sort of story. If I grab my pole saw, and a pole saw gearbox has 2 screws on it. So I'm gonna loosen these 2 screws, right, like that. Slide off the pole saw gearbox. Let's get this edger out of the way. Slide on the chainsaw gearbox. Again, make sure it seats all the way down in. And one tip trick on the double screw unit is tighten one side, tighten the other, go back and forth, kind of tighten them in sequence. If you tighten one side all the way and then tighten the other side, you'll break the clamp. So tighten them kind of side by side. All right, so here is my pole saw on an FS91. And let me tell you, I can get up pretty high. I can get a lot of work done, but I want to get a little bit taller. All right, here is the super cool thing. Pay close attention to this. This will work with the hedge trimmer as well as the pole saw. If I buy this Kombi attachment right here, this guy, right? And what I need to do is I need to pop this white bushing out of the end. And of course, I don't have the right tool, so we'll see if we can do it. Yes, I can. This screwdriver, pop that bushing out. Now take my chainsaw gearbox right here, slide it off, slide it onto the Kombi extension. Again, making sure I seat it down all the way. Tighten this up like so, and then check it out. I can slide this on here just like this, just like a normal Kombi extension will go on a Kombi tool. Tighten this wing knob, and I have now, let's say roughly, how tall is that? 13, 14? I mean, I'm up there, right? I now have a pole saw with an extension. I can run the sweeper, I can run the straight edger, I can run the hedge trimmer, the pole saw, the brush cutter. You can do all kinds of stuff. So the key is being intentional about your mating up, making sure it's seated down straight, making sure things are tight, making sure you have a shaft driven versus a cable driven setup. So there you go, the Kombi hack of the lifetime, right? You're not hooped, you bought an FS 251 and you want to run attachments, you're in it for life. What a cool tool. Hey, comment down below. I want to see what you guys think about this, if it makes sense to you, if I screwed up on my presentation. We're always trying to make them better. We look forward to seeing you soon at Carl's Mower and Saw.